Dr. Phil is back with all new shows recorded before the stay-at-home order. Today, Lois says she's happily engaged to her online lover, Paul.
And you guys met on an online dating site, but he's stuck in Africa, right? And he's expecting his uncle's $2 million inheritance.
It's a catfish investigation.
I sent one of our investigators to Nigeria. We tracked him down. Your Paul, that man in that picture. Come on out. Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. For the past 2 days, I've been talking to Lois, her daughter Candace, and younger sister Luann, uncovering the truth behind Lois's online relationships. Now, yesterday, we opened Lois's safe and examined her white money. Despite having a retired Secret Service agent of 22 years, Ron Williams, confirm her white money was fake, Lois was still convinced her online relationships were real. I also found the real man behind the photos of Lois's alleged former fiancé, Fred Adler, who confirmed he was neither in Africa nor ever engaged to Lois and was a victim of having his identity stolen. Here's where we are so far.
My mom has become addicted to online romance scams.
My sister has nothing to her name but a card table and a mattress.
You say that she's lost $100,000.
Yes, maybe even more.
So you've been engaged 3 times. June of 18, you meet the general. 3 days later, you're engaged. And then you meet Fred Adler. 3 days later, you're engaged. January 5th, you meet Paul. 5 days later, you're engaged to Paul.
Her online scammer, the general, had promised to send her the suitcase of gold, diamonds, and cash.
And met a man named Jeffrey Daniels. Jeffrey was supposed to bring me the luggage, but instead he brought me white cash. In order to use it, I have to put a solvent on it to make it usable cash. This cash is real $100 bills, because when I was at the motel, Jeffrey Daniels washed 3 bills for me. What my sister got was a suitcase of counterfeit money. This is how the rebels hide their money.
Lois was nervous to travel with the white money. We sent a courier service to transport it in the safe that she kept it in. Inside are 2 bundles of white money. These are $100 bills that have been treated in some way, right?
Yes, you have to put it in solution.
That's a $100 bill and it's under this coating, right? Okay. Well. Oh, it's coming apart. Here's a real $100 bill.
Right.
Let's put it in there. See if it comes apart. This doesn't come apart at all. This is a scale, so that's $80,000 of your money. That's 1.45. I have here $80,000. So $80,000 of U.S. currency weighs 1.75. $80,000 of your white money weighs 1.45. We actually brought in an expert in fraud detection who spent 22 years in the Secret Service.
This is called a black money scam. Lois, what he did is he took an actual $100 bill. He had it coated, washed it, showed it to you. Then he tells you those others that are coated are also $100 bills.
Do you notice it's not even the same size as a $100 bill? Is all of our money the same size?
All your genuine currency is the same size.
I met a guy online a few months ago named Fred. Last time I spoke, he was in New York City. All of a sudden, he vanished, and I thought he died. About a week ago, he texted me.
Well, we did research, and joining us from North Carolina is the man in those photos. And his name is not Fred. His real name is Mark. Have you been talking to her?
I'm sorry to say it's not me.
Somebody in Nigeria stole his picture and used it. Mark, have you been to Africa?
No, sir.
That's interesting.
Do you believe that you're being scammed?
Maybe with Fred.
Can we cross Fred off the list?
Yes.
100% sure.
Yes.
Lois says once Paul returns to the U.S. from Africa, the two have plans to live in a beautiful neighborhood, and Lois won't have to ever work again. Now, here's what we know about Paul. Now, this is according to Lois. She's not sure of his date of birth, but he grew up in Woodward, Oklahoma, same as Lois, right?
He had connections on a match that said Woodward, Oklahoma, but he had never had a hometown because he worked on ships with his uncle.
Yeah, his uncle's, yeah, but Woodward, Oklahoma is pretty small. That's an intersection, a small world.
Right.
60 years old. His middle name is Edward. His occupation, self-employed ship mechanic. He worked on shipyards in Oklahoma.
No, in New York.
Pardon?
He was in New York.
Okay.
He worked on different ships, but no, he claimed to be from originally, I guess, had been to Woodward, Oklahoma before. Okay. No, he had no home address, really.
But he's stuck in Africa, right?
He's in Africa doing business now because his uncle had passed away.
And he doesn't have money for food. He needs $2,300 to return to the U.S. He has a daughter, Angela Shaw. She's 24 years old, and Angela attends university in Scotland. Now, the daughter's mom, don't know the name, has passed away. And the uncle has kind of been the one that's been the patriarch here, has done the raising, Andrew Shaw. Uncle recently died, and the uncle was a ship mechanic also, right?
Yes, he taught him everything he knew about a ship.
Right. And he's expecting his uncle's $2 million inheritance. And you guys met on an online dating site, and you've been talking via chat and email daily and on the phone every few days, right?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him much, no.
Yeah.
Because he's overseas.
Right. And so we wanted to kind of dig into this, and Andrew Shaw left a will, right?
You're right.
That's the uncle. He left a will, leaving everything to Paul. Let's take a look at this will. And this is a law firm here, and I can't even almost pronounce the name, but this is a barrister in the Lagos state in Nigeria, and it says, "In my name and in the name of God, I, Andrew Shaw of United States of America," and he goes on here and just basically says, "I give and bequeath to my only nephew, Paul Edward Shaw, and his future wife, my property's worth $2,050,000. So we have a will here. The uncle left when he passed away. But there are some problems with this document that I want to take a look at. And they are, Andrew Shaw is just pasted into the document. I mean, the spacing here between here and here and here and here, it's just pasted in there. And even though this is done in a lawyer's office, after I'm deceased, they don't capitalize I and I'm, and it says, follows, viz, colon, after I'm deceased. That's improper language in a legal document. And then it says, I give and bequeath to my only nephew, Paul Edward Shaw, and his future wife. Again, this is just pasted into an existing document. You know this by the spacing here. And same as of today, it's not even the same font as the rest of the document. And then it has a seal on it, but the seal is not embossed. This is a completely fraudulent document. I have investigation teams worldwide, and I sent one of our investigators from Nigeria to the law offices where Uncle Andrew signed his will. And later, do you believe that money is real?
I don't know. On that cash, I don't know.
I am at my wit's end with my mom. I don't trust my mom, and I don't really want her around her granddaughter.
My granddaughter has been ripped from my life. She is 2 years old, and she hardly knows me.
Currently, my mother is living in one of our rental properties.
There is light at the end of the tunnel because when Paul and I are married, we will live closer to my daughter and my granddaughter.
I have given my mom an ultimatum that if she gives money to a scammer, she needs to move out. I am done with the drama.
Lois says her fiance, Paul, flew to Africa to claim the $2 million inheritance that Uncle Andrew left in his will. Lois says since arriving in Africa, the government has given Paul a hard time. And she has been worried about him because he is unsafe, living in and out of hotels, and can't afford food. Well, I have investigation teams worldwide. And I sent one of our investigators from Nigeria to the law offices where Uncle Andrew signed his will to see how we could help him. Because you wanted help, right? So I sent our team over there to the law office to see what we could do to get this ball rolling. Take a look.
Hey, Dr. Phil, I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. Lois says her fiancé, Paul, is entitled to an inheritance from his uncle. There's a copy of the will given to Lois by Paul. The name of the lawyer we are looking for is Oluwakonde at 44 Salem Road, Ikeja, Lagos. I'm about to go to the address, knock on the door, and see what I can find. First of all, there is no Salem Road here. What we have is Salem Street.
How many years?
10 years. And in those 10 years, you have never seen any law firm or law chamber.
This street.
This street.
I didn't have any luck finding the lawyer or the law office, but I'm going to go to a nearby law office to see if I can find anything there.
His uncle left him this way. Check how authentic. Do you think that's what a will should look like?
It is safe to say that such a law office does not exist in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay, so there's no address. You know, the address for the lawyer's office doesn't exist. The law office doesn't exist. We had the will examined by a real lawyer in Lagos, Nigeria, and they said, as I pointed out, it's not a valid will, it's not real. So there's no Salem Road in Lagos, Nigeria. This law office, this firm, none of that exists. It's just all made up. Now, Lois says she came to LA to ask my help in getting her fiance, Paul, home from Africa. Well, I think I might just do that after the break. This is who you've been talking to. Obviously, very pleasant-looking guy. We tracked him down. That man in that picture. Come on out. And later,
Who she's been talking to is a scam when it comes to the general, but she still believes that his associates are not scamming her and that their money is still potentially real. These scammers tell my mom exactly what she wants to hear. They start telling her she's beautiful. They tell her that they will take care of her, that she can retire.
I want a man that is a Christian, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't swear. I like guys that's nice looking with hair on their head. Dr. Phil might not like me.
we've been talking to Lois, whose one wish is to get her fiance, Paul, back home to the U.S. from Africa. Unfortunately, Lois doesn't have the money to pay for Paul's plane ticket, and she requested my help. Now, did you have concern about the fact that the law office doesn't exist?
No, I didn't even think about it, really.
I mean, now that you know that it doesn't exist, does that bother you?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. You know, this stuck in Africa thing is a pretty common excuse that scammers use. Take a look.
Chris currently is in Africa.
Donnie, he was in Nigeria.
You have $25,000 in cash you're putting in a cornflakes box and shipping to Ghana.
Aaron was in Nigeria and he needed money.
Kelly now lives in Nigeria.
So you sent custom fees to Nigeria. He was 50 miles from you and never came to see you. What any reasonable person would do, he moved to Ghana.
He's been working in Africa. He's been stuck for the last 2 months.
Story after story after story, stuck in Africa, 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 just need money to get home. I mean, that's like 10 different stories that I've done just in the last few years.
Wow.
I mean, it's a common thing. You just give me the money so I can get home. And it's home with a suitcase full of gold and diamonds and money or cash and whatever. Well, Paul Shaw and Angela Shaw are father and daughter. And, you know, here's what they look like. This is who you've been talking to. Obviously, very pleasant looking guy with hair. And his daughter, who he's obviously close to, right?
Right.
So it's a father and daughter, and that's a little different spin than we see sometimes. But we've done even more digging, and here's what we've discovered. The real man behind this photo is not Paul. His name is Stephen, who has been married for 22 years, has 4 children, and is a business owner. His name is not Paul. We believe he is also a victim, as his photos are being used online without his knowledge or consent. So I know you're a tough sell on this because you believe it so much, so we tracked him down. Your Paul, our Stephen, that man in that picture. Come on out, Stephen. Do you believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Paul is not real? We tracked him down. Your Paul, that man in that picture. Come on out, Stephen. How you doing, sir?
Good, thanks.
Good to meet you.
Hi.
Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, Lois, this is your Paul. Is your name Paul?
No, it's not. You know, I've been a Connecticut State Trooper. I've been a pilot. I've been a member of the Freemasons. I've been a lot of things, but I've never been a Paul Shaw.
Ever been stuck in Africa?
No, but I'd like to visit sometime.
Yeah. Have you been taking money from this woman?
Absolutely not.
Someone has stolen your identity.
I know, it's very disconcerting.
Yeah,
Very
it's
unsettling.
you feel violated,
You
right?
certainly do, yes.
And tell me what you're thinking right now.
I don't know. Hurtful, really. I met him on Match, and Paul met Fred on Match. Both of them. That's how I met him.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't expect that.
It's got to be surreal right now to be sitting next to your Paul. And it's not your Paul at all.
Right. Huh. Yeah. I don't know
Your
what to
Paul
say.
could be a 18-year-old Nigerian woman at a computer in Lagos. I mean, you don't know. You've been talking to somebody, you have no idea who it is, but it certainly is not him. Now, Paul Shaw claims his daughter, Angela, attends a university in Scotland. The real woman behind the photos is Stephen's 23-year-old daughter, Gabrielle, who attended college in New York and works for her father's company. Gabrielle, would you join us, please? Gabrielle, how are you?
Good, how are you?
It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Lois, meet Gabrielle.
Hi.
Your picture has been stolen. Your identity has been stolen and used to exploit other people. How do you feel about that?
It was really upsetting not to, usually I'm used to seeing like one person's identity be stolen, but for both of us, for our family, almost it feels like to be kind of targeted in that way was really upsetting and kind of scary, to be honest.
Yeah. You do feel a sense of violation. Somebody's come in to your family, they're telling stories, they're using it to get money from people, and I'm so glad that you two were willing to come here because that burns your identity where it's very likely that it won't be used further because it's easy for somebody to find out, yeah, that's not who they're saying it is because we've seen them, and hopefully this will stop that from happening. What do you think about seeing what you think is Angela is actually his daughter, Gabrielle?
I don't know. It's sickening. Very sickening.
Do you believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Paul is not real?
Well, I can see now, yes, with them here, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even thought of that, really.
Yeah. But you do see now with him here that his identity's been stolen. All right, Lois may not be leaving LA with her fiance, Paul, but I do have some advice for her to take back home. I'm going to share that next. I'm back really trying to unravel multiple balls of yarn here because Lois has been involved with multiple people on the internet that she has felt like she's had connections to, relationships with, and at this point, tell me what you think about the people that you've been involved with on the internet, because we've got Fred Adler. You now know that's not correct. Dr. Morris has confessed to you that he was scamming you. Paul and Angela, who are your current, that you felt very strongly about and are engaged to, the real people behind the pictures are sitting right beside you, so you know that one's off the table. Then you've got the general, who has sent you supposedly $136,500. Do you believe that money is real?
I don't know. On that cash, I don't know. I feel all right with, but I don't know. I realized that the solution it's not iodine, and it looks like iodine, but I don't know. I never realized it.
We found the man behind the general's picture, just like we did the man behind Paul's picture and Fred's picture.
You're talking about the general?
Yes.
So who is the guy? Do you know?
Yes, we do know. His identity has been stolen, just like here and just like with Fred. We found that individual.
Well, I know the general, his identity was stolen. I did know that. But I don't know, this guy apparently acts like he's in the military, and he still talks to me.
The man in the picture has never talked to you. His identity was stolen. He didn't send you money. He is a family man. His identity has been stolen. Someone is using his picture to scam you. We talked to him, just like we talked to these folks.
Right, I understand that real general. His photo, because I had emails from him. He had sent me 2 emails.
I think she believes that the real general is, or that who she's been talking to is a scam when it comes to the general, but she still believes that his associates are not scamming her, such as Dr. Frank, and that their money is still potentially real.
No, I know that the guy that he used stolen general's identity. Yes, I do know that off the first.
You believe he's a scam, but you think the people associated with him are not a scam, correct?
Well, I don't know. I talked to Dr. Frank quite often that brought the money over here, and I don't know. I talked to him at least several times, sometimes a week. So I don't know.
What don't you know? We have talked to the man whose picture was stolen. He has never talked to you. He doesn't know any of those people that say they know him. They are frauds, they are scammers, they are thieves. They cut up some white paper, put it in some plastic and sent it to you and got $9,000 out of you for their trouble.
I don't know.
That's cheap typing paper. They put $300 bills on top of it, washed the glue off of it, and got $9,000 from you. I'm sorry to tell you that, but you need to open your eyes and hear the truth.
Okay.
The general does not exist.
Oh, I know that. I found that out because
well, then what is it you don't know? You say, well, I'm not sure about the money. The money is cut up typing paper.
When Jeffrey Daniels did that to motel, I just seen what he did, and it was a different kind
Lois,
of a deal.
I can take a $100 bill and cover it in flour and dip it in water and wash the flour off and tell you all the rest of them are the same way. And if you don't check them, you don't know.
Right, I understand.
It's not even the same size as a $100 bill. Now, come on. Common sense. That $136,000 is cut up typing paper. You're surrounded by people that love you. They didn't have to come here. They're here because they care about you. They want you to be free of this. They want you to be able to walk in your strength and be happy and be healthy and not be living in a dark fantasy land where you're dealing with scammers and con artists and fraudsters. They want you free of that. And it can end when you say that's it. And I'm going to highly recommend that you unplug from the internet for at least 90 days. That you just go home and just unplug. Just don't get on the internet. Don't get on a dating site. Don't get in a chat room. Just unplug and look up from the keyboard and go, oh, wow, there's trees and the sky and friends and people, and just re-engage with the real world instead of the virtual world, and recognize how blessed you are to have people around you that love you and care about you, and get out of this fantasy world of people reading you and telling you what you want to hear. These people love you the way those people are pretending to love you.
I haven't even thought of this. I don't know what to tell you.
Can I just say that all I wanted out of the show is I just wanted you to stop looking for love online and realize that, yes, you do have a lot of people that love you, including myself, your sister, and I want you to be a part of your granddaughter's life, because to me, that's better than any kind of love you could ever get from any man. It's pure, and it's just innocent, and it's wonderful, and I just hate that you're missing out on that, and that's why I got so desperate and I brought you here.
Right.
I love you. I love you tremendously.
You realize I practically don't have anything in life now.
She had a husband.
But you have your family, and that's more than what some people have.
I realize this constitutes a loss for you. I mean, you thought you had a relationship that you don't, and you mourn a relationship if it was real or imagined. I get that. I understand that. And I want to get you some professional help to unravel all of your emotions and get things very clear to support you through this. And I want you to let me do that. Will you let me do that?
Yes, I don't know. My job, if I can take time off work, those problems.
I think you're just suggesting maybe she see a therapist
Yes.
at home,
Yes.
maybe a couple times a week, somebody that you're not related to, that has no bias or
Somebody
opinion,
that's objective that can sit down and talk with you. We'll work out schedule-wise. I'm not saying you need to go off to the Antarctic.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, and take that because you're going to really be down about this, and you need some support. And let them be close to you here. They're not judging you. They're here loving you.
Right.
Okay? But tell me you know that money's not real.
I don't know. I don't quite understand that deal. Still, as I seen what I seen at the hotel, and it's really confusing.
It's a magic trick. It's a simple magic trick.
Well, I tore up $300 then. I tore up 3 pieces of your typing paper, so I'll give you $300 that you can give her back so you feel like I've made you whole. And I don't know what else to tell you. Wash it off and take it to the grocery store and see how far you get. It's not real, it's typing paper. I brought in a retired Secret Service agent here to examine it, and he told you it's not even good typing paper. Right? I mean, it just falls apart.
Low grade.
Yeah, it's low-grade typing paper. They didn't even bother to get like 50 bond or something. It's low-grade typing paper. And I know it's hard to turn loose of that because you want your money back.
Right.
I get that. Okay, but you realize Paul's not real, right?
Right.
And Fred's not real.
Right.
Okay.
I wouldn't even have thought of that.
Okay, but you get that, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll be right back. My next guest, Lane, is married with 3 daughters, 5, 6, and 12 years old. Now, she says because of their work schedules, her husband, Jacob, does the grocery shopping and cooking. Lane says she feels bad that Jacob carries the cooking load, and she'd love to pitch in if fixing dinner wasn't so time-consuming. Take a look.
My life's pretty busy. I have 3 girls and a husband. I work part-time as a bartender. Times are tight right now.
I work in sales for a construction company. I earn my money based off of the jobs that we get.
And when times are tough for him, I have to pick up shifts to bring in some extra cash. We pretty much live paycheck to paycheck. I mean, we're not poor, but we do struggle.
It gets a little stressful because having children isn't cheap.
I feel like I'm slacking in the cooking department. What are you making? I'm making you peanut butter jelly. I'm not really that much of a cook. I don't even eat my own food that I cook because I'm terrified it's gonna taste terrible. The real cook in my family is actually my husband. I've learned a lot from him. In order to save money, we try to shop at Walmart, and I trust Jake to do most of the shopping because I do overspend a lot.
Thank you, Daddy, for cooking it.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
My goal is to find something that is gonna be affordable, delicious, and quick for my family and I. I would like to try to cook a lot healthier for my children. Is that yummy?
Well, Lane is joining me along with Brandy Malloy, spokesperson for Tiller and Hatch Frozen Meals, and in our audience is Lane's husband, Jacob. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
How you doing? So, Lane, is it just a time issue that Jacob is the chef in the house?
Well, if I'm being honest, Jake is the better cook in the house for now.
Oh, really? So, Jacob, how do you feel about handling the kitchen duties?
I enjoy cooking. The girls like to cook with me, so I really enjoy that part of it, but it would be nice if Lane had a little time to be able to do it with the girls.
Yeah. I'm a pretty good cook, if I have to say so myself. I cook everything in like one pan, though, so. And then I eat it out of the pan and then wash the pan and put it in back in the shelf, so. Jacob, anyway, help is on the way. My son Jay created an amazing frozen food line called Tiller and Hatch that makes fixing dinner like really quick and easy. And it's backed by world-renowned superstar Jennifer Lopez and her fiance, baseball great Alex Rodriguez. Take a look.
When you're part of a busy family, that time that we get to spend with the kids and sit down and have a good meal quickly is key. And that's what Tiller and Hatch provides. Good, nutritious meals, and we believe that it's everybody's right to have access to delicious, quality meals. This is the type of stuff I want the kids eating when we're not around. Not that they're having another grilled cheese or, you know, pizza.
And I know for us, the most important part of the day is family time. And to be able to do it where the 6 of us can sit down and each one of us can have a different meal, that's also pretty good.
Yeah, and do it in record time.
Well, Jennifer, Alex, and Jay are all busy parents themselves, and they wanted to come up with delicious meals that are quick and affordable for every family. So, Brandy, tell Lane how easy these meals are to prepare, because they really are easy.
There's no prep, there's no chopping, they're super simple. All of the meals come frozen in a bag, and they serve 4 to 5 servings. That's great.
So
Easy.
earlier you showed Lane how Tiller and Hatch meals could be just what the family needs. So we did shoot this. Take a look.
So today we're fixing Santa Fe inspired pasta with chicken breast. It is so good. It's filled with chicken, a creamy tomato pasta. It has a little bit of smokiness and it's really easy to make. So the first thing into the pressure cooker, I'm just gonna add 14 ounces of water. And then the entire bag of Tiller and Hatch meals. And so you'll see that pasta, the vegetables, the chicken breast, the yellow corn, the red pepper. Put a lid on it, and it will cook for 15 minutes, okay? After 15 minutes, over here, you have a wonderful meal for your entire family. It smells so good. The aroma is delicious. I have a little sample for you to try, so you have to let me know what you think. There's something really comforting about this pasta. My daughter calls it butterfly pasta because of the bow ties.
Wow, that's really good.
Isn't it so good? Everyone can enjoy it. And actually, there's 8 delicious meals from Tiller and Hatch all right here. And it's really hard to choose a favorite because they're all so good.
Right, I can actually give my husband a break in the kitchen too.
Yeah, he deserves it.
So you can find the time to fix dinner with that, right? I mean, anyone can do
definitely.
that. So, Brandy, Lane mentioned that she and Jacob are on a tight budget, so let them know how affordable they are.
Oh, it's great. So each bag has 4 to 5 servings and starts at about $12. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
So all the Tiller and Hatch meals are available where you already are shopping, Walmart, or you can order from tillerandhatch.com, and the frozen meals will be delivered right to your home. So, Brandy, you have a surprise for Lane and Jacob, right?
Yes, we are giving you a pressure cooker and a year's supply of Tiller and Hatch meals.
That's
awesome. Yes! So you and the girls can cook together and give Dad a break. Yes.
Yeah, I actually know this chef that put these together, and they are really good because I've tasted them. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Brandy Malloy and Tiller and Hatch. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.